First, I want to say you're doing everything right. On paper, you're killing it. You've got the degrees, the job title, maybe even the salary that people envy and dream about. But I know the truth that no one else sees is that inside, you're feeling trapped. You're feeling too smart for the role you're in, but trapped by the security. And you have this yearning for meaningful work, but you're not even sure what meaningful is for you. You feel like you should be thriving in your education and your experience, but you're just surviving. All of that together makes you feel like you're simply too accomplished to be this unhappy. And then the shame kicks in. Maybe you've managed complex projects, led teams, even raised kids, and you're feeling like, shouldn't I know how to create work that feels meaningful? Why don't I know how to do this? And that's the moment so many women start looking for answers and they find me. Maybe it's after maternity leave, it's after a burnout, it's after a big corporate success that's not feeling like success at all. If this is resonating with you, I want you to know that you're not broken, you're not lazy, and you're certainly not alone. I'm Ayana Christie. I also grew up thinking that the sure bet was making it in corporate. I wanted to make my parents proud, put my education to good use, that belief of working hard, climbing the ladder, and eventually you'll make it. I lived that belief all the way to the Ivy League, Booz Allen, Hamilton, and Google. But here's what I learned. Being the best doesn't mean that you get treated the best. I over-delivered, I burnt out, and I kept thinking if I just optimize more, eventually I will feel fulfilled. Instead, I just felt exhausted. Eventually, I decided to turn my talents into professional freedom through entrepreneurship. And now I'm showing you how you too can get unstuck. And I totally understand why this is difficult. Corporate success actually makes it harder for you to see new options. You're trained to optimize existing systems, not create new ones for yourself. You're rewarded for following processes and not creating your own path. You're conditioned to seek approval and not follow your own instincts. That's why when smart women sit back and whisper, "Is this it? I want more," it's terrifying. You've been trained for everything else except for this feeling of dissatisfaction that's leaving you grieving and with nowhere to turn until now. What you're experiencing is what I call the Overachiever Trap. You're an expert everywhere else, parenting, leading teams, managing complex projects. But when it comes to finding fulfilling work, you feel lost. And I know what you're thinking. I'm too smart to be this confused. I should know how to figure this out. I should know how to do this. Because you're used to knowing, you're used to having some clue of how to push forward. And that shame, those recurring mantras are keeping you paralyzed from action. But it's time that we reframe that shame. Your struggle is not a weakness, it's just simply the result of conditioning. Corporate environments wired you to deliver polished results, not messy drafts, to look for the right answer and not test your own ideas, to prove yourself through performance, not design a life that fits you. All of which is necessary when you really are looking for something that is meaningful, maybe through entrepreneurship. So of course, with this conditioning, thinking about charting a new path is frightening. It feels disorienting. I'm here to tell you that you're not crazy to feel scared. You're trying to use corporate rules in a new environment, and it just doesn't work like that. Now that you can see that you're in this overachiever trap, now that you can see it and name it, there is a way for you to make this shift. Here's how we break through this overachiever trap that's keeping you stuck and keeping you from taking any action towards the life that you actually want. 1, reframe your advantage. Stop seeing your corporate background as irrelevant. Strategic thinking, project management, stakeholder skills, these are all exactly what entrepreneurs need. The problem isn't really your skills at all. It's that you're applying them to keep systems running instead of building your own thing. Think about how you might be able to translate some of the things that you're doing in your day-to-day for someone else, for a big corporation, for your professional pursuits in an entrepreneurial environment. 2, give yourself permission to be a beginner again. You haven't done this before, so of course, there are going to be some moments where you might need to do some research, where you might need to get support. I hear clients say this all the time, like, oh, there's literally no roadmap, which is not necessarily true. There are roadmaps out there. There is help out there, but it's not translated for you to understand it. And this is why I'm doing this work. Embrace the fact that you get to go out and create a new roadmap for yourself, and you get to give yourself grace in being a beginner again. Think of this as a learning era. This is a learning period as you're making this transition out of corporate or into whatever new environment that's more fulfilling for you and allowing yourself to fail. You weren't always an expert in everything that you're doing today. And 3, start with strategic validation, not perfect planning. Forget the 50-page business plan or the 50-page goal plan. Start with 3 questions, with whatever it is that you think you want to do to provide value in the world. Who specifically am I serving? That's your number 1 question. Your second is, what problem am I solving for them? Third, how can I test this with a real person this week? It doesn't matter what you want to do. Maybe you want to make a shift. Maybe you want to join the existing organization. Maybe you want to make a pivot, and maybe you want to start a business. It doesn't matter the path. Ask yourself these questions so you can understand what it is your purpose will be. What will be the impact? How will you actually create something that is impactful in the world, knowing that there's someone on the other end to receive it, there is a problem that it solves, and there's a way for you to know that it's real by interacting with a real person on this topic right away this week. Chipping away at these 3 areas is how you build clarity before capital. It's how you stop wasting time thinking about branding, logos, websites, and actually see your ideas come to life, start to have legs. I see this all the time with my clients who are stepping into ownership for the first time. One woman, she was coming back from maternity leave and was really not feeling energized about going into the day-to-day of her work. She's a psychologist in social work, brilliant in her craft, but feeling stuck and wanted to do something that might extend her purpose, extend her passion. She had this idea for creating a journaling tool for people with unique executive functioning needs. At first, it was just a notebook. Cute, but flat. There's a million notebooks on the market. Together, we pulled out her story, her research, her experience, all the things that she had built in her lifetime and her expertise to put it into this concept. And we transformed it into a breakthrough tool, a product people could instantly connect with. And she went from, why is this so difficult? I should know how to do this, to I can create this in a way that only I can. We infused her experience, infused her expertise into the concept. And that was a huge shift. She went from a very scarcity mindset about, I should know that this is how this would work in terms of creating a product out of her expertise, to seeing the uniqueness of being a student, learning again, and being able to make that shift. And that right there is the power of clarity. Just in that shift of going from the overachiever trap, expecting that you should know everything, and reframing to be a beginner again, using the advantage of your background, you've now created a shift that's way more empowering than expecting to know everything from the onset. It changes the way people see you and how you see yourself in this transition. So here's what I want you to take away from this. You don't need another degree. You don't need another certification. You don't need to hustle harder. And you certainly don't need to have it all figured out right away. Give yourself that permission. What you need is to step out of this overachiever trap, that whisper in your mind that's telling you, I should know how to do this. And that's saying, if I was smart enough, I would know how to make this shift. I would know how to find meaningful work. It's not true. Because you're not supposed to already know, and you certainly don't need to do it alone. I realize that this is why community is so important for women in transition. Before you can use anybody's course, programs, tools, strategies, you need to normalize the fact that you just want more and find other women who are having the same experience as you. Seeing women who decided that they wanted more and went after it and are actually doing it. A community that helps you know that you're not crazy, you're not selfish, and you're not ungrateful for craving alignment. And all that you're feeling makes sense because your education didn't train you for independence. It trains you to serve someone else's system. And that's why you need to surround yourself with women who are also building their own life. Because at the end of the day, clarity is contagious and confidence is contagious. I want more women to find the thing that lights them up every day. That's why I'm introducing the Launch League. It's a free community where women who want more come to figure out what's next together. You'll get weekly launch letters in your inbox and insider access to events and resources that I'm only sharing with the League. If you're tired of feeling stuck and underwater, this might be where your next chapter begins. I'm Ayana. I spent my career doing exactly what you want to do, taking vague ideas and turning them into reality. The only difference is I did it within Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 companies. And now I'm showing you how to do the same. Hit subscribe, join the league, and let's start building the work and the life that actually fits you.